What's going on, everybody, and welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to be going over the Seahawks game on Sunday. It was quite the blowout. A lot to talk about. So, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. All right. So, wow, Sunday was something. Back-to-back weeks of putting up 38 points or 35 points or more in the first half. I mean, this team is firing on all cylinders right now. And this team is just it's legitimately looking more and more by the week like a Super Bowl contender. Obviously, we have played some pretty below average teams and below 500 teams, but we have been blowing these guys out of the water, which is what you're supposed to do as a good team. Back-to-back weeks of three-score plus games, three-score plus wins, I should say, and I mean it was a great game overall. It was a great blowout, although it was also a sloppy blowout. Even though it was a great game, I thought there was sloppiness. Offensively, defensively, we were perfectly okay. I don't really blame the defense much at all. The offense was the one that put them in that position multiple times. So I'm gonna be talking about the offense, and that's kind of what my focus is going to be on this video. But first, let's talk about the positives. I mean, we held Jacoby Brissett. We held a Jacoby Brissett-led Cardinals team to less than. Well, hopefully, we wanted to hold them less than 20 points. But we held them held them 22 points, especially since we had such a big lead up, a big advantage, to start the game. We just went up. The foot came off the gas a bit, and that was because of the offense. I don't blame the defense. I feel like if the offense played it like it was supposed to do, didn't turn the ball over, we would have held these guys to probably a single-digit score. So, I think 15 points were directly caused by by those turnovers from the offense. So, we definitely need to clean that up because we can't be having that in close games. But the defense played great overall. I mean, we had two fumble recoveries for a touchdown. Both the duo, the fumbling duo, and then the forced fumble duo, and then the pickup duo was the same. Tyreek Knight was the forced fumbler, and then DeMarcus Lawrence was the pickup guy. And both times Lawrence scooped it up and went into the end zone for a touchdown. So that's really great to see. This defense is playing at an elite level, even better than this is like Legion of Boom type stuff right now. Like I've been pretty wary and cautious to really throw that around, but this is Legion of Boom type stuff right here that we're seeing from this defense. And man, I mean, we had two goal line stops. We had a plethora of other fourth down stops. Like, this was great practice for this team, having to go up against, a bunch of fourth down attempts by the other team, because sometimes we have been struggling against stopping fourth downs, and we did pretty well this year, especially on the fourth and goals. So that's really, really great to see. And I mean, yeah, like D-Law probably had one of the best games of his career. If he does not get NFC Defensive Player of the Week or Tyrese Knight, I will be rioting. So I definitely need him to get. I think he had half a sack too. So Nick Amewori, though, man, he had 9 total tackles. He led the team in total tackles. He had half a sack, QB hit, 4 pass deflections. This dude has been playing out of his mind. And man, have we do a good job of drafting this guy and really trading up in the second round to get this guy, because this dude was really a first round talent. He really was. I don't remember what caused him to fall in the first round, out of the first round, but this dude was projected to be a first round talent. And I remember seeing that if Zabel was gone at our pick, we would have picked an Amewori. So this was just great to see that he is absolutely, when healthy, this dude is an absolute menace on the field. We did have a little bit of an injury scare when he went down and was grabbing his wrist, but he seemed to be fine and went back into the game later. So that's really great to see. Moving on to the offense, though, I want to talk about what we did well offensively. Firstly, we had for once an amazing day on the ground. We had nearly 200 rushing yards on the ground as a team. And man, that is something. Honestly, no, I say we had more than 200 rushing yards because those negative 4 yards you see there by Drew Lock were by were kneel downs. So this team, this rushing game really showed some flashes, albeit it was against a pretty banged up Arizona team that lost they lost their starting linebacker. But Charbonnet, like I said, Charbonnet seems to always do well against the Cardinals. 14 carries for 83 yards, 5.9 yards a carry with a touchdown. K9 also had a pretty decent game. George Olani had a good game in my opinion. Like overall, Charbonnet does a great job against the Cardinals, but so do we in general when it comes to the ground game. Sam Darnold did really, really well in that first half. I mean, he had that bomb touchdown to JSN. And overall, I mean, 10 of 12. I mean, he missed 2 of his passes. And the interception that he had, I don't even blame him. But Barner got pushed into him. And I know who he was aiming at. He was aiming at JSN, who was wide open over the middle. That would have been for a first down. So I don't blame him for that pick. But I will, I got a shout out to JSN, even though he didn't reach 100 yards yesterday. He snapped the streak of consecutive weeks of having 100-plus receiving yards, but he broke 1,000 receiving yards in the season. So that's a massive milestone for JSN. When it's been 9 games, and he's done that. That is ridiculous. Cooper Kupp had a crazy game. He had that one crazy catch that almost went in for a touchdown. I guarantee you, if he was 3 years younger, that would have been a touchdown. But just great to see from Coop. Moving on to the negatives, though, on the offense. I don't know what happens. I don't know what we are doing in the second half when it comes in these games. And we saw this against the Commanders last week as well. It's just we're becoming lackadaisy in the second half, and I don't know whose fault that is. I feel like that might be on the players, honestly. I want to throw shade at Clint Kubiak for this, but like the players were looking a little complacent on the offense in the second half, and I did not like that one bit, especially on the O-line. The O-line was getting tossed around a little bit more. Sam Darnold was looking a little bit more uncomfortable in the pocket. I mean, we gave up 2 fumbles. So the O-line has to be locked in at all phases of the game, and I know Mike is not going to be happy about that. And he's said it himself, like, hey, we got stuff to clean up, because the offense, like especially on offense, because we can't be having that in an event where we'll be in a close game, which I know for a fact we will be in a close game against the Rams. Like there is like no chance that's going to be a blowout on either side. So we cannot be affording to having turnovers. We had 3 turnovers on the day. We cannot be affording to have that, and 2 of those turnovers led to touchdowns. So definitely cannot do that, and we have to be better. And we need to work on the goal line. Backed up in our goal line offense, because we have been horrendous this year. Honestly, these past couple of years, we've been horrendous at getting out of our own end zone. It's because we can't run the ball effectively. And, like I said, if Darnold is pressured even slightly, you saw what happened yesterday. Barner was pushed into Darnold. It forced an errant throw. It forced the ball tipped off of Barner's helmet, and it was an interception. So we need to be better offensively on the O-line, and honestly, I think Clint Kubiak in that instance, I mean, let me back up a bit. Granted, we lost Sundell. Sundell is out, and he will be out for probably the next few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets put on IR with an apparent knee injury. Olu went in, and I knew for a fact that worried me, because you're Olu, yes, he's NFL, he's an NFL player, and he should be ready, but like it's different going from backup to oh snap, I'm now starting in the game. I have to play now. Like that's a huge. That transition takes time. Really, it really does. These guys are human beings, so that transition takes a bit of time. I'm sure Olu will do much better next week. In my opinion, I think the run game looked a lot better under Olu. So if anything, he has that with him. He has that for him when he's filling in for Sundell for these next few weeks. But there is even some musings that if Olu outperforms Sundell and Bradford, even though Bradford has done very well these past couple of weeks, if Bradford just completely craps the bed, next week or the ensuing following weeks, we could potentially throw Sundell at right guard, who he did get right guard snaps in training camp. So, but I do think that going from Sundell to Olu is a lateral move because exiting training camp and entering the season, it was really neck and neck at that center position. The only reason why Sundell got it was because Olu was hurt. That was literally it. Olu is a good center in my opinion, and you saw that on Sunday. You saw that in both the run and the passing game. And I like Sundell, but he has struggled in the running game and the run blocking a bit versus Olu, who, Olu came from Michigan, which at the time, I don't know if they still are, but at the time was a heavily run guided team, and they had a heavy run scheme at Michigan. So, I mean, if it makes sense. And I think he was there when McDonald was there. So, but we'll see what happens. But that is something to take into consideration as to why the offense was kind of struggling in the second half. It's because we lost our starting center, and that messes up the continuity a bit. So I can't put all the blame on Darnold there, and I can't put all the blame on the whole O-line as a whole because of that fact. But then at the end of the day, it is next man up. So, and we'll see this again. We'll see this next week. We'll see you in next man up. We'll have a full game together with these guys, with Olu in. So, and it's just one guy. Everything else is set on the O-line. So, I think we'll be okay. But offensively, it was a little worrying because we allowed those 2 fumbles in our own territory. That's not acceptable. So, hopefully, I'm sure that'll get cleaned up. Hopefully, that'll get cleaned up because we can't be affording to have those. But this team is looking very, very deadly, man. And going over to Hawk Blogger on Twitter or X, shout out. Seattle again. I think this might be the 4th straight week we are the number 1 DVOA team in football, and this next week we face the number 2 DVOA team in football in the Rams. So our ranks overall is 1st, 4th in offense, 3rd in special teams, or 3rd in defense, 2nd in special teams. 1st in passing offense, 21st in rushing offense, 4th in passing defense, and 2nd in rushing defense. So we are looking a lot better than we did. Just this last year, we look a lot better than we did compared to last year. So this is really, really good to see. Our rushing offense improved a little bit from last week. It was 24th, now it's 21st. We actually dropped the spot because we were 1st in special teams, so we are now 2nd. But overall, we've remained. I think we dropped a bit in defense. I think we were 2nd in defense, but we're still top 3, and we're top 5 in all of those categories, which I believe we're still the only team to be top 5 in those categories. So, but that's really, really good to see. And man, this is the best team that we've had since the Super Bowl era, since 2013. I feel like, and it's the best team we've had since 2020, and just overall in general. Since 2019, I think this is the best team we've had. 7-2. So this is something we have to capitalize, and I honestly think this game against the Rams on Sunday will decide the division and decide, honestly, potentially who's going to make a push for that 1 seed. Because the Eagles won yesterday, and I was rooting for the Packers. The Eagles won yesterday, and they took the 1 seed from us due to tiebreakers because they've beaten the Bucs, and we haven't. So we're going to have to do better. We're going to have to, not do better. Yes, we'll have to do better, but we're going to have to win on Sunday against the Rams. That's going to be a massive game, and that is a game where, hopefully we can continue our road win streak under Mike, which I feel like we have a chance to. But I'll be previewing that game later on this week. But just back to this week and overall where we're at, 7-2. We are tied first in the division. We were the 1st seed until the Eagles won yesterday. This is the best position the Seahawks have been since 2020, I believe. 2019, 2020, that area. And this is under Mike's 2nd year as head coach. Ever, at any league, at any point in his career of being a head coach somewhere. His 2nd year. And this is just something. We really found somebody in Mike McDonald, and I knew for a fact that this was the guy the moment we hired him. And I knew for a fact that John Schneider knew that the moment he interviewed him in Baltimore and then brought him to Seattle the literal day after to bring him in and basically say, hey, yo, you are a head coach now. So this is great to see, and man, I'm excited to see this. And not only that, we're starting to win at home. We're starting to find our dominance at home. And we've won our last 2 road games, or home games. That puts us at a positive record at home this year, a winning record at home this year at 3-2. So that's really, really good to see, because if we start winning at home, sky's the limit if we're going to continue to be winning on the road like we are. So we have to continue with what we're doing, and I think we will. Mike has we have not shown that we're slowing down after this bye, and if anything, we've shown that we've improved. So I think that we have a good shot of beating the Rams. But like I said, I'll preview that game later on this week. But I just think moving forward, we have a really good shot of even surpassing my record prediction of 12-5. Like I had us going 12-5 before the season, but there's a chance we can go 13-4. I'm getting a little hasty though. It is a week by week league for the most part, and we have to just keep stacking wins. And Mike, I know Mike keeps it 1 week at a time, one opponent at a time, and that's great to see. But as fans, you can't help but look ahead and think, man, if we beat this team next week, who are we going to lose to? So, yeah, I think that's where I am right now with this team, 7-2 with a legitimate shot of going 13-4 or 14-3. So, I really like where we're at. Where we are at right now, and that Rashid Shaheed trade was something, and I really like that we made a move it tells us that John Schneider thinks that we have a chance at winning the Super Bowl this year, and I think we do. I legitimately think we do. I think these past couple of years that we made trades, trying to make a push, I wasn't really confident in this team because the defense sucked and the offense was spotty. This year, that's completely changed because we have an elite defense and our offense is top 5 in the league. So I do think we have a legitimate chance of making a Super Bowl run this year. But it's still week 10, about to be week 11, so we're only halfway through the season. We still have another half of the season to go. So I have to pump the brakes a bit, and we have to take it week by week. So, but yeah, you just can't help but be excited at where we're at, and I cannot wait to see what happens from here on out. But yeah, I think that's all I have for this video. I'll be making a preview video for the Rams later on this week, so stay tuned for that. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day, and go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken.